Hi everyone and welcome to the video. Now I've got a really exciting one for you today where we're going to be covering the topic of the Google Ads algorithm. Now this is probably one of the most complex and dense topics in Google Ads, but honestly if you are able to master it, this is how you can make your account print money for you on demand. So without further ado, let's get into it.
All right, so jumping straight into the video. In this, we're going to be decoding the Google Ads algorithm. I'm going to be breaking down how you can essentially manipulate the different biases within the Google Ads algorithm to work in your favor. And what that means is to show you to more relevant audiences at a cheaper CPC and more frequently, so you can achieve more leads and customers with ease from your Google Ads campaigns. So let's get straight into it. Now, there's a certain complexity behind Google Ads, which I'm sure if you're watching this, you're already aware of. The algorithm that Google Ads is built on is one of the most sophisticated systems in paid media. It's far more sophisticated than Meta, TikTok, Snapchat, Reddit. It is probably the most complicated algorithm out there. So if you learn to master this, you can pretty much print money on demand for your business. Now, with recent updates such as Performance Max, broad match enhancements, and even demand gen, this has basically added an extra layer of complexity to campaigns because now the traditional paradigms of thinking that most media buyers operate through simply doesn't work. You have a lot of Google Ads media buyers still operating through this old paradigm where you can build campaigns with like 10 keywords in one ad group or 20 keywords in one ad group and not segment out your branded traffic or still using SKAGs, and they still think that's how you can play the game. It's a completely different ball game now on Google Ads, and that's what we're going to be covering in these slides. Now, just quickly, who am I and why should you trust me with your time on this topic? Well, my name is Adam and I'm the founder of Cairo Agency. We are a Google Ads performance marketing agency, so we specialize in actually driving bottom line revenue for our clients. We're not interested in impressions or clicks. We're interested in customers, purchases, revenue, ROAS. Now, I personally have over 8 years of experience running Google Ads myself, and I have personally generated over $10 million in trackable revenue from this platform. And this is across multiple brands and multiple different industries. Now, for us, the proof is in the results. You can see here, we've been able to get our clients things like a 9.43 ROAS. Here, we've got our client over an 895% ROAS from that ad spend. And another cool result here where in 1 month, we spent 21K of our client's budget and we was able to make them back over £96,000 in revenue. So just shy of 100K in 1 month alone. So for us, the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in the results. We know how to run Google Ads really, really well. Cool. Now, jumping into the complexity behind Google Ads, right? Like I mentioned, this is a very sophisticated system, right? Google Ads operates on one of the most sophisticated and dynamic algorithms in paid media. And this is underpinned by two things, or rather two overlapping domains, AI and machine learning systems that feed off your data. And this is going to be a recurring theme in this presentation. Data, data, data. Now, what do these multi-data points actually do for your business, right? Once you give Google all of this. Now, because Google operates on multiple data points, and when you feed it the right information to layer those data points and to attribute those data points correctly, what that allows Google to do is to show your ads to the right audience at the right time on the right platform, meaning you can target someone precisely when they're ready to buy. And if you know how to do this, again, this is the magic bullet. This is the formula for a winning campaign. Now, if you are able to understand the biases within Google Ads, you are able to play with them, right, to work in your favor. And this would allow you to drive more profitable campaigns by, again, showing your ad to the most relevant audiences more frequently and on the right platform, I might add. So, like I said, this presentation is going to be all about understanding the Google Ads biases and how you can play with them effectively to work in your favor. So the Google Ads algorithm is built upon 4 key elements. This is intent, structure, first-party data, and budget. Now, like I said, this is not the old paradigm. This is the new paradigm of how the Google Ads algorithm works. Intent is simply how likely somebody is to convert from your targeting. So are you targeting keywords that are most likely going to lead to a conversion, or are they fluffy keywords that just have a lot of search volume and lead to a lot of low intent or low search intent clicks? The next element is structure. How well has your campaign been structured in relation to your campaign goals? Are you one of those old Google ad media buyers, or are you running your ads in the old paradigm where you bundle all your keywords essentially into one ad group? You have one campaign and you expect it to take care of everything. Are you segmenting correctly based upon your life cycle journey of your customer or client? Are you actually factoring in the correct ad groups and asset groups, right? Based upon the different product sets or services that your business offers. And the third element is first party data. This is going to include you feeding Google Ads first party data of your most valuable customers. And if you are doing this, how regularly are you updating this? You know, it always surprises me when I work with a big e-com brand and they've not even connected their Shopify store to Google Ads, and they're not even importing customer data, right? You can import your highest value customer data directly from Shopify into Google Ads and feed it firsthand who your most valuable customer is. And Google Ads is going to have an absolute party with that data. It's going to love it because you're telling it firsthand, this is what my ideal customer looks like. Go out and find more of them. Now, the last core element of the Google Ads algorithm is the budget. Now, are your budgets sufficiently big enough to drive traffic to achieve your campaign goals? Now, one of the biggest things I find when I'm auditing Google Ad accounts is that everything is in place correctly. There's good intent, there's good structure, there's first party data even, but the budget is simply too small. And we are going to cover this, what your budget needs to be, and then how to even scale it up once you have a good budget level. Okie dokie. Now, moving into intent, right? There's what we call at our agency, the Google Ads intent pyramid, right? And this essentially moves up in levels of importance. So it all starts with your keyword targeting, right? The intent of your search campaigns, or to be honest, any campaign, is underpinned by your targeting. And this is simply going to be how relevant, or the relevancy of your keyword targeting to your campaign's conversion goals. If you are a e-commerce brand that sells beauty products, are you targeting products that focus on the benefits and solutions of that beauty product? Is it actually going to make someone's skin look clearer, their hair look more shinier and better, right? Are you targeting keywords in relation to that? Are those keywords in relation to somebody buying? You need to be factoring all of these elements, right? When it comes to your targeting, because Google can align it to your conversion goal. So the next part of the intent pyramid is your ad relevance. And this simply is how well does your ad copy align with your keyword targeting? Now, for example, what I mean by this is, are you including keywords in your ad copy? Again, if you are a e-com brand selling beauty products and you have an anti-aging serum, are you actually including the words anti-aging serum in your ad copy, right? Because if you're targeting that keyword, buy anti-aging serum or best anti-aging serum, you should be including it in your ad copy as well, because what that person is searching for, they're going to want to see it in the ad copy as well. That's going to give them a level of comfort. That's also going to give them a level of confirmation of what they're looking for, right? Now, on the last element, and arguably one of the most important elements, is the landing page experience. And this is what most businesses get wrong. Now, all the landing page experience means is if you are, or rather, does your landing page match your ad copy message and your keyword targeting to provide a seamless experience from click to landing page? Now, again, if somebody is searching for an anti-aging serum, they click on an ad that has the copy anti-aging serum in it, but then they go to a landing page which is generic beauty products, which is just serums for all sorts of things, and body creams and face creams and hair solutions. That now you've broken the intent pyramid, you've broken the chain of intent, right? Because now that person needs to figure out if you even sell this serum, where is it, how many do you have, which one's right for them. You need to be taking that person to a landing page that sells anti-aging serums, right? And you need to make sure the checkout process is really seamless as well from there. But if you get these 3 things right, this is how you get your ads to convert, because somebody from click to purchase has had a high intent process, right? Meaning the thing that they intended on buying, they were able to find it, locate it on your website and purchase it without any real hassle, right? So yeah, very, very important. Now, to summarize this section, the stronger the intent is across these 3 elements, the more Google will reward you by showing your ads to people across your target audience more frequently. Now, this creates a flywheel effect, because as Google shows your ads to more people who are high intent, this will generate more conversions. And then in turn, Google will continue to push your ads deeper into that audience, which will then further continue to produce more conversions. So it becomes this snowball effect or flywheel effect, where the moment you get it right, Google will just keep rewarding you and you'll just keep churning out more and more customers or more and more leads, pretty much on autopilot. Okay, so now moving on to the next slide. And this is going to be building structural balance across your Google Ads account. Now, there are 3 parts to this. The first is going to be optimizing for lifecycle changes. The second is going to be segmenting your campaigns by audience relevancy. And the last part of this is going to be identifying audience leakage. If you can break down these 3 parts within your Google Ads account, again, this is how you can play to the biases, because Google is going to reward you for actually playing into their algorithms system, if that makes sense. Now, the first section of this, which is optimizing for lifecycle changes, you need to understand how different types of campaigns play a role within your brand's conversion funnel. So for example, you can use search campaigns to capture bottom of funnel traffic, which is when somebody's going to purchase. You can also use demand gen campaigns for top of funnel, which is going to drive awareness, which is then going to get someone to Google later on and convert. Now, this sounds like it's easier said than done, but you need to understand the right keywords that are going to drive bottom of funnel conversions. You need to understand the right audiences that are going to drive top of funnel awareness, and then within that, the right creatives. So really getting that feel, that's really what it is. You need to be able to feel and understand the different campaign types that work for your brand's life cycle stages. Now, moving on to segmenting by audience relevancy. Now, it's all well and good having a search campaign, a demand gen, a PMAX campaign, right, a shopping campaign. But you need to further break these campaigns down into their different layers of intent, and you need to further break the campaigns themselves down into different ad groups and asset groups. What this will allow you to do is define your audiences at a more granular level and then customize your ad copy and landing pages based upon these audiences. Now, a perfect example of this is search campaigns. What you want to be doing is having a specific search campaign for branded traffic, a specific search campaign for products or services, and then a specific search campaign for competitor audiences. The reason being is because when you split these campaigns out, they all have different layers of intent. Branded campaigns typically are going to be your highest performing, followed by product and service campaigns, and then your lowest performing are going to be your competitors. Now, what you can do is play into the algorithm by optimizing your budgets, your bid strategies, your keywords, your ad copy messaging for each of these audiences, right? And then Google is going to push them to the right people at the right time, because it knows which campaign type is more likely going to get a conversion based upon a search, rather than bundling all your keywords into one ad group and expecting Google to decide or know these audience segmentations for you. Now, this is very, very important. And I'm a big advocate of a granular structure, right? Let's just take a product and services campaign, right? And let's just say you're an e-com beauty brand. You want to have specific ad groups for face creams, for serums, for anti-aging, for acne, you name it, right? Because again, you can segment out the keywords by intent. Somebody looking for a serum is going to be a different keyword audience to someone looking for an anti-acne product, right? So very, very important. Now, lastly is identifying audience leakage within your Google Ads account. You need to be regularly auditing your Google Ads account to identify these areas or inefficiencies where your audiences are not converting as well as they could. A really typical example of this, right, is going to be if you're running a PMAX or a shopping campaign, what you're going to find is these drive a lot of initiate checkouts and add to carts, okay? It's just sort of the nature of the game of running these campaign types, and they don't always convert, but they're very good at getting people to add to cart and initiate checkout, but not quite purchase. So a really simple solution to this in this scenario would actually be running something called dynamic display retargeting, because you can now just retarget someone who has added to cart or initiate checkout but not purchased the product fully. So that's just one example, but again, you need to be understanding where are people, how are your campaigns performing in terms of driving traffic to your website, and at what point do they stop, and then what can you do about it? That's kind of the logic you need to think about here. Okay, so moving on to the next slide. This is going to be about feeding Google Ads first-party data and the importance of it. Now, you want to be feeding Google Ads first-party data sources, and this is going to be data collected from your customer list, your CRM databases, and your website interactions, such as your add to carts, booked calls, demos watched, or demos booked. So now what that's going to allow Google Ads to do is conduct what's called a data points analysis, right? What you're essentially doing is training Google's AI by feeding it high quality conversion data. And what this is going to allow you to do is create custom targeting that is completely unique to your business. Now, the power of feeding Google Ads first party data, such as a customer list from your Shopify store, is that Google can crawl that list and understand at an incredibly granular level that no human could, who your target customer is. It's going to look at things that are so minute and across so many different data points that it's able to create these custom level targeting options, which you could never do manually. And these are things you can access from your PMAX campaigns for using more advanced targeting across search and shopping, right? Or even display and demand gen, like your lookalike audiences. And this is what is going to take your campaigns to the next level, because again, you're playing to the biases within Google Ads, because now you've given it a data set for it to understand, and you're telling it, this is who my customers are, and I want you to go and find more people that look just like this. Okay, so moving on to part 3, which is the learning phase, and this is the part that most people stumble on. Now, once you've given Google Ads enough data, you actually need to give your campaigns enough time to adjust. What most people think is that just because you've given your campaigns this huge data set of customers, they think, or most people think, well, Google Ads is now just going to start performing exponentially on day one. No, you need to give it around 7 days, sometimes even 14 days for it to process that data and then start finding your customers. This takes time, so you have to be patient and let the learning phase play out. Now, lastly, point 4 of feeding Google Ads first party data. You need to be leveraging smart bidding and doing the correct optimizations. Now, these are going to be things like using a target CPA and a target ROAS bid strategy. Because Google understands the value of your customer, you can now plug in a target CPA and a target ROAS bid strategy. Google is going to be able to locate these people across the internet much more easily. And again, you can then train the algorithm to basically find these customers with that first party data set. Okay, now moving on to the next slide. This is going to be your budget optimization based upon your data insights. Now, you need to make sure you have a sufficient starting budget. Ideally, this is going to be something like a daily budget that is 3 to 5 times your estimated CPA. What this allows you to do on Google Ads is buy enough data so Google can quickly understand who is and who is not a relevant person to show your ads to. So let's say your target CPA is $50. Realistically, your campaign budget needs to be anything from $150 to $250 a day, because you're giving Google enough room to show ads to people to then figure out who it can get to convert, right? There's going to be some hit and miss. You have to just take that on the chin. But Google is going to learn very quickly if it has a good starting budget. And then you can minimize that wasted ad spend very, very rapidly. I would almost say within the first 1 to 2 weeks. Now, Once you've established a good starting budget and you're seeing results, you need to then begin the scaling process, right? And again, this is playing into Google's biases. Google likes it when you spend more money. This is not a secret, but a lot of people think you just can double and triple your budget overnight, right? No. Once you've established a good budget, you now need to move into a target ROAS or target CPA bid strategy and begin adjusting those levels. So you're not just going to go and up the budget off the bat. What you're going to do is squeeze that budget you have even more sufficiently. So let's just say you're spending $300 a day with a free ROAS. What you're going to do now is test a 3.3 ROAS as your target level, right? Or if your target CPA is $100, you're now going to test a target CPA of $90, right? You're going to push it even more. And what that's going to do is gradually allow the algorithm to learn, right? And you're not confusing the system and throwing it back into a learning phase. Lastly, you want to make these refinements. Once you've established a really healthy target CPA or target ROAS from your smart bidding strategies and from having a good starting budget, you can now begin increasing your campaign's budget by anything from 10 to 20% every 5 to 7 days. And again, this is just enough that you're pushing the campaign to perform better for you without throwing the system, that is the Google Ads algorithm, back into the learning phase, right? This again is going to allow you to refine and scale without confusing the system. And this is very, very important. Okay, so there you have it, guys. That is the Google Ads algorithm decoded for you. So just to summarize, you want to be building structural balance across your Google Ads account. You want to be feeding Google Ads high quality first party data. You want to be optimizing your budget strategically, and you want to be building campaigns based on their intent levels for your business, prioritizing high intent campaigns, and then making sure you have adequate targeting and creatives for your lower intent campaigns like a demand gen or even a YouTube campaign. I really hope this was helpful, and I hope this is going to allow you to squeeze more efficiency and scale the hell out of your Google Ads account. Thank you very much, and goodbye.